old man things here. I got a story for you. Mick was driving through the countryside one day, and he came across, and he thought, oh, he had a terrible thirst. And he saw this quaint little country pub. So he pulls off to the side, parks, and walks in. And he orders a pint of stout. And as he's drinking the pint, he hears the most beautiful piano playing he's ever heard in all of his life. So he's starting to look around to see, because you can tell it's live. It's not like a recording, but he can't see a piano anywhere. So he starts looking everywhere, and finally he notices in the back corner by the fireplace is this little man playing his piano on his on the shelf, on the bookshelf next to the fireplace. And he's just looking at him. He doesn't understand. But the little man's playing like he's never heard before. It's just beautiful. So Mick finishes his pint and orders another one. And about halfway through his second pint, he says to the bartender, he says, "Surely that's the most beautiful piano playing I've ever heard." The bartender says, "Yeah, well, he's wonderful, isn't he?" And Mick says, "I've got to ask, where did you ever find such a small little piano player like that?" And the bartender says, "There's a gypsy in town, and if she's in the right mood, she'll grant you one wish." So Mick says, "Well, I gotta take my chances. Where can I find her?" And the bartender says, "You go around the corner, there'll be a couple houses, and then there's the gypsy's house, and you'll know it when you see it. You can't miss." So Mick finishes his second pint, and he gets up, walks outside, gives a nod to the piano player as he walks past him to the door, walks past the first two houses, and then he sees this little tiny cottage, and it's all done up the way you would imagine a gypsy would have it all done up. And he thought, surely this is the gypsy's one that the landlord was talking about. So he knocks on the door, and he hears a woman's voice say, "Come in." So Mick comes in, opens up the door and walks in, and there's a gypsy sitting at a table with a crystal ball in front of her, and her hair is all in a underneath a a do-rag or whatever they call them, with earrings and everything. And she says, "You don't even have to ask, Mick." She says, "I know you're here for a wish, and I'm in a mood that I'll give you one wish." So Mick's so excited he can't hardly keep a straight face. And he says, "I know exactly what I'll wish for." So the gypsy says, "Let's hear it." And Mick says, "I wish for $1,000,000. And the gypsy snaps her fingers and says, "Your wish is granted." And she says, "All you have to do is go outside and they'll be delivered to you." So as he takes a step outside, he hears all this quacking. And he looks up, and there's all these ducks falling from the sky, quacking, and feathers going everywhere, wings flapping. And he's looking around, and the ducks are all, there's as many as you can see. And he shakes his head and he walks back to the bar. Gives a nod to the little piano player as he walks past him and goes up to the bar. And tells the landlord, asks for another pint of stout. So the landlord pours him a pint. And the landlord says, "So Mick, did you find the gypsy?" And Mick says, "Surely I did." He said, "Did she grant you a wish?" And he says, "Sure, she granted me a wish. But there's only one thing." And the landlord says, "What's that, Mick?" And he says, "I don't think she's very good at hearing." He said, I wished for $1 million, and 1,000,000 ducks fell from the sky." And the landlord said, "What do you think I ordered a 12-inch pianist?"